Okay, welcome to another project, and this is my little Bmw Z3 that I got last year. I bought this towards the end of the summer, and it's a 2.2 M Sport edition, so a few wee extras, the suspension, wheels and things like that. I've just brought it out, and I apologise for the mess of it, but it's basically been sitting in the corner of the garage. And I've also had to leave it running for the battery. It was a wee bit low, so it's not a bad car in general. A wee bit of wear in the seat there, and there was actually a wee bit of wear on the hood which I've put down. I've started gathering up bits, so I've actually got a new hood for it. Well, sorry, not brand new, but in very good condition. But generally, just this wee car needs a bit of care. There's rust starting here, and what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to pull the parts all off it, the body panels, everything off, and then we're going to give it a full paint job. I'm going to get a friend Jim up to give me a hand. Most of it's in pretty good order. There's a few wee bits of rust, and we'll look around together as we're taking it apart. The likes of here, lacquer just peeled. It's just been over the years. It's just got old, so no significant body work. Both sides, there's a few wee dents in the doors and car park dings, and again this side here, I think there was a wee bit of bubbling starting, not too bad. So this is actually the facelift wide arch. This was a final edition, so the wheel arches and things are actually wider on this car. Different wee bits like the lights, clear lights and things. So I'm going to get into it now. I believe that everything is just bolt on, bolt off, all the quarter panels, everything else. So I'm going to strip it right down, all the body panels off. That's the goal for tonight, and we'll see what it's like underneath. Okay, so a little time has passed, and basically started with the parts here on the floor, the headlights now. We've sort of changed our plan a bit. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to keep the bonnet on the car for working at, and for storage, and for painting probably, without removing it. Bumper I've taken off. I'll pull off in a second when we get it up in the ramp. Moving around the sides, started taking the bolts out of the top of the guards here. Everything's wee 8mm bolts, so taking them out of the top here. Also for this sill that runs along the bottom here, bolts in the top here. So I'm basically taking everything out at the top, and then I'll put it up in the ramp and finish it off. So I believe them sills have to come off first, and then the quarter panels. Although I'm going to loosen these bolts off now in the quarter panels. I think there's one hidden there. I've also removed the tailgate. Again, changed our plans with that. I've taken it all off with the hinges complete, and that is allowing the quarter panels to move about. There is a bit of corrosion underneath, which I'll show you, but I think these are going to be savable. And then I'm going to take the rear bumper off the front bumper. So everything is 8mm pretty much. Just one by a socket, actually quite straightforward. And I suspect with the lights and things that they haven't really been out of this car before, which is a good thing in one way, because it hasn't really been fooled about with. But some of the bolts just proving a wee bit tricky, so I'll carry on another wee bit and strip a few other odds and ends. I think the doors will be coming off as well, or stripped anyway at least, so I'll come back to you with that in a wee minute. Well, we've only really been at this about an hour or so, so it's not bad so far. Right, okay, so a couple of hours, 2.5, 3 hours maybe, and have the bits. So the boot lid's fine, just needs a bit of prep and painted. These wee side trims will go again, I think they're fine. The quarter panel on the driver's side is fine, but I'm dubious about the inside of this. It's actually rattling away the edges, and I don't think shot blasting that's going to be much use. It is fixable, but it's whether it's worth spending time. I can just buy one that's probably straight. So headlights are fine, all that stuff's good. The car itself, I still have to pull the 2 bumpers, but I'm going to stop tonight. So there's a wee bit of surface rust just here, but it's only cosmetic. So the actual sill and strength and box section's all good, surprisingly. But then that other the other sill, the outer sill, is just a cosmetic thing as well. So it's all good there. Caught out actually a couple of bolts in the back, in behind here and behind the splash guard, and a couple of bolts here once I had them panels off, and a bolt in the front through into here. They actually came off alright, but the bolts underneath we had a few issues with, had to hammer them and stuff, but everything came out, nothing broke in it, so it's good to go and put everything in. And the body all around here, everything is all good. So quite successful. As I say, aside from needing them sills, which I can buy new I think still, and that quarter panel probably I'll replace because there's part of it there. If the parts are available I'll get them, if not we'll fix it. But that's an evening, so that's a few hours, gives me somewhere to start with. And like I say, I've already bought another hood for it, but that'll go on last. So yeah, pretty happy with the results so far on the end of first night. Okay, so I went a bit further. I was just checking underneath and decided to check the bolts, and these were only 2 Torx up through these, which some of you may already know, and then just the bolts out of the splash guards underneath, and that got the front bumper off. And then the rear bumper again was another 2 Torx up through here, and everything else. So everything on this car, I mean, there's some wee bit bubbles of surface corrosion here and here, but I mean it'll literally take a day to do. These wee bits, this was the bracket for the wing, these had snapped off the bolts, so I just really need to source a couple of quarter panels and the sills perhaps, or like I say, if I'm having difficulties or it's going to be any length of time, I'll just fix them and patch them. So it started off as a car and that's where we're going to leave it tonight, and I'm going to take the panels away with me and see what they think of them. Maybe take the quarter panels away and get them blasted, but that's what it looks like on the ground. And most of it is not very many tools, a couple of Torx, mostly 8mm bolts, and a couple of other wee clips and things. You could probably do most of this here at your door, however when a ramp's available it's definitely far easier. So just a quick introduction, that'll probably leave it for a day or two now to see what I need parts wise, and then we'll come back and have a look and do the prep on the sills and bits and pieces. And there's also a bit of an oil leak up around the top here somewhere, so I'm going to figure that out when it's on the ramp, and that's it. So probably that'll be the end of part 1, maybe quite quick, but tune in again and we'll see how we get on once we've done the parts and seen what we have left after the sandblaster.